Mr. Griffin for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to pick up with Mr. Doyle's questions, but first, I want to thank you for mentioning Virginia Tech, which is in my district, and I hope that you all were successful in finding some folks there who are willing to work for you. A lot of good people, so I know that it was a worthwhile trip. You know, Mr. Doyle was already picking up on it, and there are a lot of new technologies coming out. One that I've looked at that I think has some real potential, fiber optic, you know, placing that out there to track leaks. We have a couple of pipelines coming through Virginia, one of which comes through my district and comes very close to Virginia Tech. And a lot of people are concerned about the safety, and, you know, the small leaks, as you said, are where the new technologies can go. But what is PHMSA doing to remove any regulatory barriers? And let me know if you think there are some, and incentivize the adoption of new technologies, because we've got this big gas pipeline coming through, and it appears to me that FERC is not requiring that they use some of these new technologies to make sure that these facilities are, you know, completely safe. And even if it's just a small gas leak, what's small today, as you know, can be big tomorrow and can cause a problem not only to the environment, but to the people who live near that pipeline.
Congressman, thank you for the question. And I think one of the items that I have been most impressed with is we've seen advancements in technology. And I do believe that as we see new construction and complete replacement of pipelines, I do think that you're going to see, and some is available today and some will continue to be available, that you know, the pipeline installation process will include systems that will self-report the health of the pipeline above and beyond what happens today with inline inspection technology. So I think the combination of several things, continued use of integrity management systems by the operators, the continued expansion of technology and inline inspection technology, and then the continued use of self-diagnostic capabilities with new and totally replaced pipeline. I do think that in the not-too-distant future, we will probably see a new constructed pipeline that will be able to self-report on a regular basis its real-time health.
So here's my concern, and the concern my constituents have, and I know they were trying to sell a product, but some folks came in with their fiber optics, and they were able to show how they can detect based on the temperature change. If you just lay that fiber optic on top of the pipeline, you can tell if there's a small leak. You can also tell if somebody's trying to do physical harm to the pipeline for whatever reasons, because they can, in real time, can see if somebody's driving up or walking up to the pipeline. If somebody starts digging near the pipeline, they can see all of that. And yet the pipe is not in the ground yet. The technology appears to be ready, and FERC doesn't seem to be requiring it. Do you all work with FERC to say, hey, this is new technology, it's not that expensive, and when you're talking about a pipeline that's going to be in the ground for decades and near a lot of communities, I think people would sleep a lot better in my district if they knew that was there, and it's not, there's no plan for it. Pipe's not in the ground yet in a large part of my district. What can we do to encourage the operators to do that, and what can you all do to work with FERC to say, hey, this is something that really ought to be done?
Well, we'll continue to have dialogue with FERC on a regular basis, and we will discuss that. But I think one of the other things that we can do, and the regular dialogue that we have with the oil and gas operators, is to continue to push the use of new technologies that will minimize leaks and releases of pipelines. We can have that conversation with them.
Well, I certainly hope that you will. And there are some new people on FERC, so I don't want to say that they're all like this, but I will tell you, at one point a few years back, we had 3 congressmen from our region who asked for additional hearings, and we got nothing. And that's very discouraging. It doesn't seem like they're very open to input. I hope you have a different experience. That being said, I got a few more seconds. What's your favorite new technology on pipeline safety? You got to have one that you're just like, hey, that's pretty neat.
To me, I actually think it's the ability to locate non-metallic pipeline that is becoming so prevalent in natural gas distribution systems in major metropolitan areas, because I think that has the greatest opportunity to create safety. I know in the incident that occurred in Durham, North Carolina, where a directional boring machine tapped into a distribution line. I just think that the ability to be able to more accurately identify non-metallic pipeline is probably my favorite.
I appreciate that. Thank you, and I yield back.